rising, and we're humming, and we're loving all day.
Hi, welcome to LavanderPolish. I really like talking about nail polish, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I semi-recently got my hands on the new HOLOTACO Rainbow Linears collection, and I'm a little bit in love. So for anyone who doesn't know, HOLOTACO is a nail polish brand made by YouTuber and nail artist Christine from Simply Nailogical, and their sort of mission statement is pretty much to make easily accessible, high-quality special effects nail polishes, such as these holographic linear polishes that do the job perfectly. So, let's get into it. So the first one that we're going to start with today is Red Licorice. It's bright, it's bold, it's a little bit sexy, if I do say so myself. It's got the slightest like sort of blue tinge in the back of it, which I think adds a great 3D effect to it, and I absolutely loved it. None of them are marketed as one coaters, however most of them would go on in one coat just fine. I throw on a second coat just to really add more depth to it, but that's kind of optional. I'm also going to be throwing in a clip at the end of these under direct lighting, and at the very end of the video I'm going to have more of a proper photo shoot the way you saw at the beginning, so keep watching for that. I don't know, it might be interesting, you might like it. Anyways, moving on to Orange Drink. This is the second polish. This one I think I definitely did need 2 coats for. It was not quite opaque. However, absolutely worth it. It's sort of this bright rust color type of orange, a little bit of sunset vibe. One of the first things I noticed right off the bat was how good the formula for these polishes was. It goes on nice and thick without being too gloopy. The only complaint I'd really have is that it dries very, very quickly, and that can be a blessing and a curse. You know, it's great for nail art because as soon as you put it on, you could layer something else on top of it with no smearing. But if you hesitate even a little bit as you're actually putting it on, the top of it will start to dry, and as you'll put your brush down again, it'll kind of scrape it off, but as long as you're fast, you should be fine. And just take a look at that. I mean, come on. You see that orange? Stunning. So this one is Lemon Sucker, and I gotta say, I was not looking forward to Lemon Sucker initially. In my mind, you know, holos really have to be these bright, bold colors, and yellow just doesn't really fit into that. It's very like soft, very pretty color. I didn't expect it to look good in holo. And I just, you know, it's kind of like, oh, you know, I want to buy the whole collection, but I don't think I'm ever going to use the yellow. Is it worth it to get the whole collection? Ultimately, I decided to get it, and I am so happy that I did. I think it's honestly my favorite out of all of these. In this clip, it definitely does look a little bit greeny, which is what I was afraid of, that it would look more like this yellow-green color rather than a pure yellow. But as you'll see in just a second, when it's out in the sunlight, this yellow shines like gold. Just look. Ready? Ready? Are you ready? I love it. It's beautiful. I threw in an outside clip here, which I wasn't going to do until the end, but I could not help myself. It's so pretty. Okay. It's so pretty. Now, Green Taffy. This was another absolute favorite of mine. The application process, I'll admit it was a little bit messy. This one I did have the issue where it did start to dry just a tiny bit as I was putting it on. This was the first one I actually put on. So I wasn't expecting it to dry in a split second, which is why it got a little bit thick and a little bit sticky as I was applying the second coat, and I did end up sort of flooding my cuticles a little bit, as you can see, trying to finagle that. But the way that it looks under direct lighting, again, just makes up for any issues that I would have with the way that it dries so quickly. And here we go. I mean, you can see this beautiful holographic flame. It's stunning. I keep saying they're stunning, they're beautiful, but I don't know what else to say about them. They're just so pretty. Blue Freezy is up next. The color of this reminds me a lot of this old collaboration that Christine did with Fun Lacquer a long time ago. It was called How Deep Is Your Holo? It was the same sort of rich, deep blue holographic glitter. This one's just a linear holo. I wish I had that polish just that I could compare them properly, because the color just reminds me of it so well. And I think that would look so good in a nail art together. So if anyone has that, you know, and they want to make something, feel free to send it to me. I will say, this was one of the less, I think, popping holographic ones out of all of them. It was a little bit more subtle, which I didn't really expect from a blue color, from a deep blue. Usually they'll look quite nice, and I still loved it, but, you know, leave it a bit to be desired. As you can see, the Holo Flame in this one is just a bit less bright than it was in something such as the green, for example. Okay, almost at the end, let's go. We're on to Purple Slushy. Also, I love how these are all named after like kind of foods and drinks, and it reminds me of just like, you know, a summer at some like festival or fair or something like that. I love it. Anyways, Deep Purple. Stunning, gorgeous. It's a bit of like sort of a royal deep purple. I thought it was beautiful. Again, I know I keep saying these are all beautiful and stunning. That's really just how I feel about this whole collection. I want to be more objective, but I do really, really like it. This one, I think I did only put one coat on because I felt like putting a second coat would just be wasting it. It really only needed one, and I didn't see a reason to put on the second. And again, under direct lighting. Okay, and here we go. Magenta Jelly. This one I called from the beginning. As soon as this collection was announced, I knew that I was going to want this one. This is my number one. I think I got a bit too excited putting it on. I spent a little bit too long, and it did sort of drag a little bit as it dried too fast. However, I did not want to take this polish off. I wore it just about as long as I wore the yellow because it's my favorite. I can't say anything else about it. Oh yeah, so you can see that's a pretty messy application. This is the real example of what happens when you do let it dry a bit too quickly as you're putting the nail polish on. It sort of thickens up. However, this color was my absolute hands down favorite. And honestly, how could it not be? Just take a look at how gorgeously the color shines through. It's so bright, it's so opaque. So final thoughts overall, I really, really enjoy this collection. It works wonderfully in nail art. It gradients really, really nicely. You only need a couple of coats to get it to look beautiful, and it blends so well. There was clearly a lot of time and thought that went into creating such a good formula, especially just because it isn't that expensive. That $14 per bottle, which is definitely absolutely on the higher side. But considering how good they were able to make it, you can tell that it is worth the $14. The other thing I did notice is that the formula is quite similar to Super Chic Lacquer. I only have one of their polishes. I have Super Chic Lacquer's Realm of Erotica, and from what I can tell, it is almost exactly the same as Red Licorice from HOLOTACO. I don't think that was on purpose or anything, they're just two brands that make very good holographic polishes. The only real difference that I would say is that Super Chic Lacquer has maybe a bit more of a bluish undertone. Well, HOLOTACO is a bit more orange, but I do think that they're really good dupes for each other. So, as we all know, shipping costs of nail polish suck. So if you're maybe trying to get this type of formula and you're looking at HOLOTACO, for example, the shipping's gonna kill you, maybe check out Super Chic Lacquer and see if you can get it a little bit cheaper there. Or vice versa, depending on where you live. HOLOTACO has said that they'll be restocking these at the end of the summer, and I would definitely recommend getting your hands on at least a couple of them if you like holo polishes, because they are cream of the crop. If you don't want to get a whole collection, I would definitely recommend Magenta Jelly, Green Taffy, and Lemon Sucker. I think that they're the boldest and the brightest of the bunch, especially, as I said earlier, Lemon Sucker just blew my mind. I was not expecting that much from it, and I didn't know how to take it off. I keep putting it on whenever I just need to put something on my nails to keep them safe. I reach for this. Mwah. Love it. And that's just about all I have for today. So let me know what you want to see next. I did just get a new collection from LavanderPolish, so perhaps I'll do another sort of review video. I'm filling up for it, or I might go back and do some more nail art. We'll see how I feel. But let me know what you think. Alright, have a good day.
From the bad times now, love crimes never held me down. We've been through all these grapevines, how we gonna find out true? Buzzing, buzzing.